You probably saw it reported in the news that the Keller City Council voted to recall the chairwoman of the board at the Tarrant Appraisal District Board of Directors. Then you probably saw it reported in the news that she resigned, but you probably haven't seen that the Tarrant Appraisal District Board of Directors scheduled a meeting for tomorrow, March the 3rd at 1 p.m. And here's the crazy part you're not going to hear anywhere else. Guess who's going to be running that meeting? It's the same person, the chairwoman. Her name is Catherine Wildman, and she will be sitting in that meeting, running the meetings. And that's how you know right from the get-go, this thing doesn't pass the smell test. There are shenanigans going on. And I want to tell you the scoop, the inside scoop about what's going on, a little bit about the history about this. But you need to know a couple of things. A couple of things. That's how I count. One thing is this. The only reason why the city of Keller voted to recall her is because they are listening to you. You guys have spoken loud and clear. You're out there sharing Facebook posts. You're contacting your elected representatives. You showed up at the Appraisal District Board of Directors meeting when over 300 of you showed up and got locked outside as the chairwoman voted to adjust the time of that meeting so that everybody had to stay outside longer. And they are listening to you guys, and now you guys are they're trying to rob you of the opportunity to have any kind of accountability on that board. And let me explain the other part of this about how that is. Here's the deal. The process to fill the vacant seat after that recall, the process to fill the vacant seat is completely different for a recall process than the process to fill a vacant seat after a resignation. So when the recall starts and everybody knows it's probably going to go through, then she resigns. What's happening there is the process to fill that seat is being manipulated. And I'll tell you the short answer is this. When the recall process happens, the taxing entities get to vote for who's going to fill that seat. What this is how the law has designed our system, our property tax system, to allow you through our local elected officials to hold the appraisal district accountable. That's how we get to hold them accountable. And by doing the resignation, what that's doing is that's giving control of who's going to fill that seat to the sitting board members at the appraisal district. They're going to be the ones to vote to see who fills that seat. What's happening here is we are getting robbed of the ability to hold the appraisal district accountable if the process to fill that seat is now the resignation process instead of the recall process. So here's an opportunity that we all have. Number one, if you have the ability to show up tomorrow at 1 o'clock, Friday, to watch this go down, they need to know that we're watching and we mean business. The second thing is, if you don't have the ability to show up at that meeting, you've got to work or whatever, at least email your local elected officials, let them know, let your city council members, your mayor, your school board trustees, let them know that this meeting is happening and ask them to step up for you. This is their time to shine. This is an opportunity for our local officials to get to show us that they are going to represent our interests and they're going to hold the appraisal district accountable. And if there are shenanigans going on, we want the world to see it. And more specifically, we want our local elected officials to see it so that they can step up and act on our behalf, because all of this stuff is just so our property taxes can be raised. At the end of the day, that's what's going on here. Let me give you a little bit of the history of what's going on, because on the surface, you might be thinking, yeah, well, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe nothing fishy is going on. And at this point, I'm done giving benefit of the doubt. I think there's something rotten going on here because it stinks. How is the person that's getting recalled and that resigned going to conduct the meeting? It doesn't make any sense. Well, there's a long history that goes into the appraisal district playing games and manipulating the process to fill vacant seats at the board of directors. Let me give it to you in a nutshell. A long time ago in 2019, when I first started getting involved with appraisal district stuff, there was a high-ranking appraisal district employee that was the school board president for White Settlement ISD. His name was Randy Armstrong. You may recognize that name. He's the same guy that filed all the complaints against me. Well, they were re-electing all the incumbents at the appraisal district to make sure that they reelected the same people over and over again. Then in 2021, there were 2 people on that board that went to the taxing entities and asked to be recalled. When they asked to be recalled, instead of resigning, again, they were manipulating who was going to get to fill that seat. Because at that time, we had different people on the board. And if the people on the board would have been the ones to vote for the replacement, the outcome would have been totally different. This is just the appraisal district trying to allow their friends to pick and choose who's on that board, and we need to have none of it. Our property taxes are about to go sky high. We're about to get those value notices in the mail, and we want them accurately valuing our properties instead of focused on whatever the reason is why they care so much about this election. I don't know what they're trying to hide. I don't know what's going on. All I know is we need to pay attention. We need to let our local officials know, and we need to insist that no shenanigans are happening and that they do things the right way. Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a great day. Bye. I'll see you there tomorrow.